Hi everyone, welcome back to another color and chat. The last video that I did was a color along, but I did that one a little bit differently where I just kind of added in some music so it could kind of be watched as a tutorial and just more relaxing. And I colored these flowers over here as well as the leaves. And I think I'm going to do the house today, but I am really struggling with this limited color palette on what color I want to do the house. And I know that I want it to be kind of bright. And I thought about doing it the same color as these flowers over here, but I think I'm going to try a rather different combination and see how it turns out. So what I think I've chosen, what I think I've chosen is the Deco Peach and my cream so that we can make sure we've got some highlights in there in the areas that we need them. And then the main color is going to be the nectar. And normally we think of that as a skin color, so this is going to be very different. Normally I pull my nectar out when I'm doing skin for the darker areas of the skin, but we're going to try a little something different today and see what happens. And then where I want my shadows, I'm going to try and add in possibly some of this mineral orange. So we are going to see how this goes. And I think I'm going to start with, I don't know if I should start with the peach or maybe I should add in some cream. And I'm just going to kind of talk about it as I go so y'all can, I don't know if you guys are the same as me, but when you're coloring, do you just kind of have a thought process of how you want it to turn out? And I know in the beginning, like a lot of us are still really unsure of where we're going with it. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit more so you could see what I'm doing. But I know in the beginning a lot of us are really unsure about how we want it to look. And so, I don't know, the beginning is just kind of like an experiment, and of course we don't want to ruin it. Of course, if it doesn't look good, I'll always come back in and I'll use my eraser. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in our other lighter color. Usually, I don't know, I think, usually I don't go light to dark. Sometimes I tend to go dark to light, I think, when I'm coloring. But this time, since I'm so unsure of how I want this to turn out, and I'm just kind of experimenting right now, I want to see how these are going to look. So I'm kind of doing light to dark, I guess. And these colors, the peach and the cream, I would normally use as a highlight color. But I decided to use both of them. Okay, so now I'm coming in with my nectar. Here's where the real test is going to be. You see, normally this is a skin color, but I kind of want my house to be bright and happy, and this is the only thing in my color palette with a pink tone to it. So I kind of wanted to use it because my color palette, I don't know, when you're using a limited color palette, it is tends to be kind of difficult and it's very challenging, but that's the whole reason I do them, because I like to be able to think about what I'm doing when I'm coloring. This is actually looking quite nice. Maybe zoom you in a little bit more. But I kind of like it. I wanted my house to be kind of more like bright and happy, but still not necessarily bright and happy. I still wanted the highlights to be there, but I wanted it to look more natural too at the same time, if that makes sense. See what this color's gonna do. What do y'all think? Is that working? It's different for sure. I don't know, I'm almost thinking that maybe I need something a little bit darker than the mineral orange. Maybe I do have pumpkin orange in my color palette. Maybe I will add that in as well. Let's see how dark we can get it with just a little bit more of the mineral orange and the nectar. The nectar is actually really a pretty color. And of course I always love my peach and my cream. Those are my two favorites. This is actually Deco Peach, not the straight up peach. And the Deco Peach is actually much brighter. I don't know, let's color a little more and see how this is going to turn out, but I think it's going to look nice. So here we go again. Let's add in our peach over that cream. And I'm using probably medium pressure because I really want it to lay down. And then I'm coming back with my nectar and we are going to go over that. That nectar is really such a pretty color. I have a feeling that I am going to come back in with something that is maybe a little bit darker, but I'm kind of liking this. And when you're working with a limited palette, you only have so many choices. If you watched my video where I chose all the colors, you'll know which colors I have in my palette. If you didn't see that video, then I'll have it linked down in the description. I love how this cream is kind of brightening everything up. I think I really like this. Okay, so we're coming back in again with the peach over that cream. And we're going to come back in with the nectar. I don't think that I have colored a house in some time. It has been a long time. That's one of the reasons that I chose this page too, because so many of us color nothing but flowers all the time. I know a lot of us are stuck in these Johanna Basford books because we love them so much, but I love that she gives us a little bit of variety by adding in these houses, because the other one for our color along that we're doing, If you're finding this video, the reason I'm coloring this page is because it is for a color along in my Facebook group. We are all coloring either this page or the underwater house in Lost Ocean. And everybody got to choose which one they wanted to color. And we all chose a color palette. And we're all doing this together. And so if you want information on that, you can find that in my previous videos. And of course, I'll have stuff linked in the description as always. I'm coming back in with my peach. I really like, I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think of this. That is the fun in Prismacolors, like always coming up with new color combinations. I love exploring with these pencils and just finding new combinations. I really need to start a notebook of some sort and add all my combinations to it. I generally, let me use my peach here. I generally just, you know, create the combinations and then I take photos with my phone and I keep them in a folder on my phone when I find one that I really truly love. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit more. Oh, did that blur us? Okay. There we go. Okay, so we're going to come back in here with the peach. So how many of you are working on this page today with me? I hope you all didn't have too much trouble choosing your color palettes, and I hope that my last video was helpful to you in choosing your color palette. I know a lot of you gave me wonderful positive feedback and said that it was very helpful, and a lot of you watched the previous video that I had, but that one wasn't as detailed and I still had a lot of questions. So the one that I made that goes along with this color along that I'll have linked in the description, that one is much more detailed, telling you exactly how to come up with your colors. And even still with the palettes that were chosen, everybody should have probably some of the same colors, but some different colors to go along with them as well. Because it's really, truly amazing how different people see colors. Because you may hold one color up to the color, you know, your color palette, and you may see it as a match, whereas somebody else may look at it and not really think so. Now look at this one here that is a little bit different than the others. See, now I'm thinking how I may want this one to look a little bit different because it doesn't have this ring around it, and I know that I'm going to do something different with those rings. That's why I'm leaving a little bit of the lighter here underneath, because I'm probably going to come in with something darker and do these little rings here. So that way everything stands out like as its own. and they're not all kind of running into one another. So see, this will still work because I'm going to keep that lighter. And so we're going to have light, and then so here where I come in darker, it's going to still stand out. If you're wondering why the lead on this pencil looks much different than the others, it's because I used my Derwent Superpoint sharpener that I got the other day when I got my Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils. And this is how it sharpens the lead to a very, very sharp point, but I have found that it doesn't work as well with Prismacolors, but it did save the lead on this one because this pencil had a very soft core and it was just crumbling away and kept breaking, and so my T-Gull sharpener was not working. And so I put it in that sharpener, but it saved it, and hopefully the lead will last longer. But I really don't recommend doing that unless you have to, because for some reason the Derwent sharpener, I don't think it really picks up the wood or something on the Prisma colors, and it kind of, the front part of the sharpener just continues to keep going in and eating away your pencil. And so I kind of had to pull it out before you would generally pull it out if using that sharpener. If that, I don't know how many of you have that sharpener, but if that makes any sense. But with my Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils, I found that sharpener to work very well because those are a much harder pencil. But with these really soft pencils, I would recommend the T-Gull sharpener. That is what I always use, and it really works wonderfully, but you kind of have to make sure if you've got a very soft lead that you don't push too hard, because then you'll get a pressure break. And those are no fun, because once you get a pressure break, it seems as though the lead just keeps on withering away as you continue to sharpen. So that's what happened to my chocolate pencil. And I love that pencil because I use it for when I'm doing brown hair. And so my chocolate pencil was kind of just, it basically no longer exists because it just got sharpened away. But I just got a brand new 150 set when the price dropped drastically on Amazon. So I am excited about that, and they seem to be so much better than the ones I had gotten from Blick. The last 150 set I bought from Blick, and I was not thrilled with those. I had a lot of breakage issues from the very beginning. And of course, when you first get your pencils, you're not using every single one of them, so you really don't know which ones have the breakage issues and which ones don't. So I called them and they said, well, we'll send you out a new box of pencils, and then you could just take the pencils that you're having breakage issues with and swap them out. And so I thought that was great, but I really did, it was only a couple days, so I hadn't really used that many pencils. The ones that I did use, I was experiencing breakage issues with. So I was able to replace a few of them and then send the others back. But of course, as time went on and I continued to use the pencils, I had a lot more breakage issues. And so I really needed this other 150 set to use as a replacement set for some of the pencils, like the ones that I use a whole lot, like this cream pencil is one of my favorites. And my chocolate that basically just withered away to nothing. And then this mineral orange. I don't even use this one a lot, but as you can see, it is pretty small. And that was because I was having breakage issues with it, and that's why I decided to put it in my Derwent sharpener, but that was probably not the best decision because it just grinded away a lot of my pencil. But I really like how this color is turning out. These were the closest I had to pinks, and I mean, they're not even really pink. They're pinky orange, I guess. But I wanted my house to kind of be a more natural color, but still kind of whimsical looking. I'm still contemplating in my mind whether or not I'm going to add something a little bit darker to this combination. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you like the color alongs where I just do the, you know, kind of a speed coloring where I speed the video up and add music to the background and just make it a more relaxing, but still kind of put the text up on the screen and show you what pencils I'm using and such. Or if you prefer these more color and chats where we just kind of color and I give you commentary at the same time and my thought process on what I'm using and how I lay down the colors and stuff. But that will give me a general idea of what you all prefer to watch, because I want to make videos on this channel of what you all prefer to watch rather than just necessarily what I like to do or what I want to do. I even thought of maybe doing one of these chat videos, color and chat, and possibly doing like maybe a question and answer and getting some questions from y'all and just answering the questions as I color. I thought that would be kind of a cool idea, and I've not seen anybody else do that. At least I don't think so, not for a coloring video, but I thought that might be really cool. I mean, just kind of questions about, I mean, I don't know, about different coloring techniques or what I like to do, or maybe choosing colors. They could be coloring questions. I mean, really, they could be questions about anything. And I'll just pick whatever questions I want to answer, if there's a lot of them. And I could use some in one video and maybe some in another video if you guys have lots of questions. And I could just read the questions off as I color. I think that would be kind of fun. But let me know in the comments what y'all think. And I know a lot of people are coming to my videos because they're finding them in YouTube. I actually go in and I look at my analytics and I see where the views are coming from and how they're being suggested to people. And a lot of people are just finding it from search, and I noticed a lot of you are joining my Facebook group because you found my YouTube video, which that's great because this is a rather new channel and I would like to grow it. And really the only reason I started the channel is because I was encouraged by so many people in my Facebook group. We want a video on this and we want a video on that. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't want to make videos. And it's taken so much time. Like yesterday, I literally spent the entire day filming. And it is a lot of work. But at the same time, it's fun. And I've learned so much just by having to edit my own videos. And I don't know, these coloring videos, they have a certain way that they need to be edited depending on what they are. Because if I do a coloring video where I'm just doing a, oh my gosh, was I not in frame? I am so sorry. If I do a coloring video where I am doing like a color and chat, then it really doesn't require much editing. But if I'm doing a video where it's kind of a color along and I got to put music behind it and all of that stuff and then speed it up and everything, it requires a lot more. And like yesterday's video that I did, where I showed everybody how to choose a color palette, that one, oh gosh, that one, guys, took me hours. Like hours and hours. I started the video filming it at noon yesterday. Noon. And with all the editing and everything, and then taking it out of the editing program and processing it to YouTube and making the thumbnails. By the time it finally uploaded to YouTube with my slow upload speeds, oh my gosh, it was 10 o'clock at night, guys. And everybody was waiting for that video because everybody wanted to see how to choose the colors for the color along. And so I was like, come on, upload already. All this work I put into this video and it's taking so long to upload. But I'm so glad it finally got posted. And then I was able to film a little bit more last night, late last night, because I want to be able to film all of this for you all so you could see my process in how this page comes together. And those of you that are new to coloring, I'm hoping that these videos really help you. When it comes to like your shading and your blending and all of that. And I'm sitting here wondering what other color I have in my color palette that will add a little more darkness to this. Anyway, for those of you that are beginners, I just want you to know that coloring is a learning process, and you will learn so much over time. But you need to just sit and relax and color and not worry so much about mistakes. Now see what I did here. This is the perfect example because I just did the opposite of what I was doing. And I started with the darkest color first and went dark to light instead of light to dark. And I actually like how that came out better. So Oh, so neat. This one where it doesn't have the little other thing underneath it. I have to figure out what to do here to make it kind of stand out some more. Because you really don't ever want, I probably came down too low here because I wasn't paying attention. Because you want this right here to be lighter. And I could probably come over it with white if I really wanted to. But let's see if we can make this work. We are going to make it work. Yeah, see? Like you're always learning as you color. But see how I left a little bit of space right in there so that I am still going to create a little bit of depth, even though in the print there was no little circular area around here that I plan on going in with darker. I want to be able to see the separation between these two. So if I do end up coming back in with a darker color, then this will remain a lot lighter, and then I can come in here with a darker color and darken this up, and it will create a much bigger separation. But I'll figure that out later. But a lot of those things, when you look at stuff like that, a lot of that is more advanced, and when you're a beginner, you really don't need to worry about those things. You just need to kind of color and learn as you go. And not worry so much about everything being perfect. But I don't even have an idea for what color I'm going to color these with yet. But see, I don't want to go too far into here because I want separation between this part here and this part here. So I just kind of think about it as I go along and try to decide what I'm going to do and what's going to look best. And I'm already contemplating when I get over here where I've got these yellow flowers, these colors that I'm using on the house are very close to these colors on these flowers. So I'm going to find a way to deal with that, whether I color this part of the house a different color from the roof, or I put cream around these to kind of make them stand out and make them look like there's kind of a glow behind them, and then blend the color from the house into that. But I'm just thinking as I go, trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do, you know, even into the future with this page. And with a limited color palette, you kind of have to think in advance, because if you don't, I mean, I just try to think about like what colors I'm going to use in the future for the other things. Like now this wood right up here that is holding these little vases and stuff, I like to think ahead of time, what am I going to color those so they kind of stand out beyond what color I'm coloring in the house. I was going to do the house purple, and then I didn't. I wanted something that was more natural. And I'm still debating what color the actual house is going to be. But I do kind of like these colors together. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you all think. And if you like these kind of videos and you like my content, please go ahead and subscribe. And make sure you turn, I think some people were saying that they didn't get the notifications and they were upset that they didn't get the notifications. But I think that there is a little bell that you have to actually click on so that YouTube notifies you when I upload a new video. But I plan on really being consistent and growing this channel. And I don't know, with all the time off and all this, you know, quarantine stuff and just getting out of quarantine and the world kind of getting back to normal again, I will get busier because I have teenagers at home, and when school starts back up and we go back to homeschooling and me having to drive my kids back and forth to school, I have 3 teens at home, and so one is still homeschooled. I've been homeschooling for 18 years. And a couple years ago, they decided that they wanted to go to school, and my 13-year-old son went to school the beginning of this year. And so he was in school for a very short time before all this quarantine stuff happened. So I know so many parents that just struggled with their kids having to come home and stuff, but it was so easy for us because that was just our life for so many years. And he just went right back to doing what he was doing. But when school starts back up and I got to start taking kids back and forth, and then my 16-year-old son, he is in the college program. He's homeschooled, but in the college program. And he has a full load of college classes. When classes start back up in the fall, if we do go back to class. And he doesn't drive yet, so I will be driving him back and forth all over town again. And it takes so much time when you've got 3 kids in 3 different places, in different schools, and doing different things. And then my older one that's still at home, she works and she doesn't drive yet. So I not only take her to and from school, but I also take her to and from work. So before all this quarantine stuff happened, I spent a lot of time in my car just driving kids back and forth. So we'll see what happens when life starts to get back to somewhat normal for me. But I will still be filming videos in the evenings. Whether they are color and chat or speed coloring videos or what they are. And I plan to continue to host these color alongs. But I'm going to continue to post my progress on this one through the whole entire process. And some of them I will do more of a speed coloring. And those will probably be a shorter video that you can watch. But yeah, I'm really enjoying doing the YouTube thing. And I was hesitant for so long. And so many of you in my Facebook group really encouraged it, and I thank you for that. But I am getting used to all this filming stuff, much more so than I was. Oh, y'all should have seen me the first video I was trying to film, and I was like, it just seemed like everything was going wrong. And I was like, I'm not doing this. This will be my last video. I'm not doing this anymore. And then I got the hang of it, and I found, you know, how I want to do things that made it easiest for me. And I learned better how to use the camera and the angles when filming, and I got my lighting right and everything else. And oh man, I had to learn the editing program too on my PC. And that was a lot of fun. So I've learned so much along the way though. And I hope that you guys are learning from watching me color and all the videos I've put out, and are enjoying all the color alongs and everything that we are doing together through this YouTube channel and my Facebook group. And as y'all can see, I am a very slow colorist. So, you know, I know some of you in the Facebook group, like, were asking about, do we have a due date? Do we have a due date? And I'm going to do all of this along with you on video. And so you could see where my progress is, but I am slow, so you guys have plenty of time. I don't like to rush my coloring, because isn't coloring supposed to be relaxing and just kind of a mellow thing that we do just to kind of alleviate like the stressors from real life? And I feel like putting due dates on a coloring event, to me, in my mind, that just kind of defeats the purpose, because it should be fun and relaxing. And I know I color to relax, and I know a lot of you do too, because it is such a stress reliever. And those of us that struggle with anxiety, I know that a lot of people that have come to the coloring community struggle with anxiety and find this a tool to alleviate that. And I mean, that's part of the reason why I color. I love coloring just because it is so relaxing, and you really don't have to worry about anything else. I mean, I come in my office and I shut the door and I just color. Because you all know that still have teenagers or have had teenagers. It gets stressful. So this is my me time. And I think this video has probably gotten pretty long, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And I will probably finish the roof of the house off camera, and then I will come back and color something else on film. And the last one was a speed coloring, and so this one was a color and chat. So I may go back to the speed coloring to finish something else, and you all will have to let me know in the comments what you like better, because like I said, I want to gear these videos towards what you enjoy watching more. Now, please do check the description in this video, and you will find lots of things there, like other linked videos that may be helpful to you. And if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe and make sure that you do hit the bell so that you get notified, because like I said, some people were a little upset that they were not getting notifications when they saw me post the new video had come up, but they never got notified. So make sure that you do hit the bell and not just subscribe to the channel. I'm not really sure yet. I'll check into it, but I'm not really sure if that makes a difference. But I think that it does, because I know that I get notified only if I've hit the bell when I subscribe to other colorist channel. But I hope you all have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will come back with another one very soon, most likely tomorrow. So happy coloring. Bye.